everyone, I am Meghna Saha. Today we will discuss the origin of Himalaya. We know India is a land of the great physical diversity, and the diversity relate relief, geographic characteristics, and the different part of the country, and obviously the climate region. So, what is relief means? The relief means the altitude and the latitude difference between the two part of the region. So in this next slide, we have see that there is the mountain, there is the desert, plain land, and the coastal land. So basically, in the plain land, India's height basically the 300 meters and above. On the another hand, if we go to the mountain areas, there the average height of the 1500 kilometers and above. So keeping in the views of these relief features, the geologists or the geographers are divide the Indian region, basically the six parts. One is the northern Himalayan region, North Plain region, Peninsular region, Island region, Coastal region, and third desert region. So we can talk about the northern Himalayas. So north and the northern is boundary of India is marked as a wall of the tallest mountain, comprising the number of mountain range, and the most prominent is Himalaya. And beside Himalaya, there is also the Trans-Himalayan region and the Purvanchal. So Himalaya is basically the one of the most young folded mountain in the world. And formation basically, the mountain system has involved folding of the sedimentary rock measuring the thousands of meters in thickness. It's also difficult to fix the boundary of Himalayas outside of India. And the most important things, the Himalayan region forms the largest snowfield in the world outside the polar ice cap. So, the origin of Himalayas, there are the prominent two theories. One is the geosyncline theories, another is the plate tectonic theories. So, first we discuss the geosyncline theory. According to the webinar, so in the 2000 millions year ago,
पेंजिया सुपर कॉन्टिनेंट के दो भाग हुए, जिसके उत्तरी हिस्से को लारेंसिया और दक्षिणी हिस्से को गोंडवाला लैंड कहा जाता है। और इन दोनों के डिवाइड होने के बाद जो बीच में महासागर का पानी भरा और एक खाड़ी का निर्माण हुआ, उसे वैज्ञानिकों ने टेथिस सागर नाम दिया। पेंजिया में से अलग हुए उत्तरी महाद्वीप लारेंसिया में से आज के एशिया, यूरोप और उत्तर अमेरिका जैसे कॉन्टिनेंट्स बने, जबकि गोंडवाला लैंड में से दक्षिण अमेरिका, अफ्रीका, ऑस्ट्रेलिया और एंटार्क्टिका जैसे कॉन्टिनेंट्स बने। हमारा देश भारत भले ही आज भौगोलिक रूप से एशिया का भाग हो, लेकिन भारत का भूमि भाग उस भारत एक ही प्लेट पे टिके थे। धीरे धीरे अंदरूनी प्लेट्स के सरकने से ये प्लेट्स भी अलग होती गई और भारत की जियोग्राफिकल प्लेट अफ्रीका से अलग होकर धीरे धीरे एशिया की ओर बढ़ने लगी। वो आज के लद्दाख हिस्से की ओर लगातार बढ़ती रही और एक समय इस प्लेट का एशिया के लद्दाख वाले हिस्से पे टकराव हुआ। दोस्तों, भूगर्भ में जब दो प्लेट्स का टकराव होता है तो भारी प्लेट नीचे की ओर सरक जाती है और हल्की प्लेट ऊपर उठ जाती है। उस वक्त भी ऐसा ही हुआ और आज के हिमालय का निर्माण हुआ। ऐसा कोई कम समय में नहीं हुआ, ऐसा होने में करोड़ों साल लग गए और आज की इस भौगोलिक भूमि का निर्माण हुआ। दोस्तों, आज भारत सिर्फ एक ही टेक्टोनिक प्लेट पे टिका है और लगातार ये भारत की भारी प्लेट हिमालय की ओर दब रही है और हिमालय दिन ब दिन ऊपर उठ रहा है। इसके साथ ही
phase of the upliftment of the Himalaya occurred around the 65 million years ago. So in that time, it happens the Jaskar Ladakh range has comes and the the Trans-Himalayan comes into the existence. Then the second upliftment also occurred at 45 million years ago. And in that time, the youthful, basically the Pir Panjal, Dholadhar, Mahabharat range has comes in the picture. And lastly, from the Shivalik. And Shivalik basically the made up by the unconsolidated materials such as conglomerate. So the previous I have told that the Indian plate moving towards the north. So what is the evidence? So geologists also the found some evidence like social evidence. Evidence will be the similar fossils have found in the Tibetan plate and the Shivalik hills. Not even the fossils, they are share like the similar type of vegetation, similar type of life. Next example, the Tibetan plateaus. We found the deposit which found basically in lake, and this indicate lake once exist in the Tibet, and because of the upliftment the water got discharged and the deposit are the reminded. Then another example is the frequent earthquake that is basically happens on the conversion zone plate. Then youthful nature of the rivers, they are basically the high erosion, V-shaped valley, etc. So that is basically the example of the conversion zone, and the Himalaya is moving upwards and the Indian plate is moving towards the north. So in the next slide we'll discuss about, so we are discussed that the Himalaya is broadly divided by three parts. One is the Greater Himalaya, Lesser Himalaya, and the Outer Himalaya. So in this map we can see this line is the Greater Himalaya, this one is the Lesser Himalaya, and this one is the Outer Himalaya. So in this part there is the three part, that is the Karakoram range, that is the Karakoram range, that is the Ladakh range, that is the Jaskar range, and this is the Pir Panjal range. So that is basically comes under the Trans Himalayan region. So just a quick overview of the physiographic division of India, that is basically the Himalayas. So in the Trans Himalayan region there is basically the Jaskar, Ladakh, Kailash, and the Karakoram is there. So the most of the northern is the Karakoram, that is the range. So in these areas has called the backbone of the High Asia, that is basically the Karakoram range. So then come to the Great Himalayan, or it's called the Himadri Himalaya. So it's basically the continuous mountain range. We can see this line is the continuous line, that's are the called the Greater Himalaya. It's basically the Mount Everest, Nanga Parbat is there. It is basically the Nanga Parbat to Namche Barwa. This range is the line. The most prominent, the top, like the Mount Everest, then Kanchenjunga, Nanga Parbat, Namche Barwa is situated here. Even the most of the glacier, the Siachen, then Gangotri, Jamunotri also situated is there. Next come the Lesser Himalaya, or the Himachal Himalaya, or the Middle Himalaya. So they are also the regional name, that is the Pir Panjal in Jammu Kashmir, Dhauladhar in Himachal Pradesh. Basically the most of the hill town and the resort is located here, like the Simla, Manali, Mussoorie. So this is the range. Also the prominent valley like the Kashmir Valley, Kangra Valley, Kulu Valley also located in this region, that is the Lesser Himalaya region. And then the third part is the Shivalik, or the Outer Himalaya. Its ancient name that the Mainak Parbat. Its its altitude basically 900 meter to 1100 meters. So the last is called the Outer Himalaya. In the next slide, we'll discuss about the cross section of Himalayas. So in the earlier slide, we have discussed there are three parts of the Himalaya. One is the higher Himalaya, or the greater Himalaya, lesser Himalaya, and the outer Himalaya. So each and every part of the Himalaya, it's divides some zones. That is Tibet Himalaya to higher Himalaya, or the greater Himalaya is divided by the Indo-Sangpo Sucha zone, that is called the ITSZ. Next is the higher Himalaya, or the greater Himalaya to the lesser Himalaya, it's called the main central thrust zone. And next the lesser Himalaya to the outer Himalaya, it's called the main boundary thrust. And the outer Himalaya to the plain region is the Himalayan frontal fault. So we look that there are the four major fault is there in Himalayas. and rest of the part is the the Indo-Gangetic alluvial plain. Then it's come the Vindhyan range, etc. So it's the elevation of the northern Himalaya to the plain region. In the next slide, we'll discuss about the regional division of the Himalaya. So, according to the region, the Himalaya, we can divide the Western Himalayan, that is the Western Himalaya, and another is the Eastern Himalaya. So, Western Himalaya also the divide by the two part. Another is the Punjab Himalaya and Kumaon Himalaya. So, it's basically the boundary between the two areas, and it's divided by the prominent river like the Punjab Himalaya located between the Indus and the Satluj. The same things, the Kumaon Himalaya is between the Satluj and Kali. We can see the map here also. And then the eastern Himalaya, it's Kali to Brahmaputra. That is the Kali river to the Brahmaputra river is here. So in the Punjab Himalaya, there the one most prominent things, that is the Karewa Foundation, and Karewa is basically the in the Karewa areas. The famous cultivation is the Jaffran, or that is called the saffron. So in the Nepal Himalaya, we can see the eastern Himalaya. In the Nepal Himalaya, it's located between the Kali to Kosi. This is the Kali to Kosi river is there. So in this area, basically the tallest section of the Himalaya is located in this area. The tallest, the Mount Everest is also the situated is that region. Then Sikkim, the Sikkim Himalaya, it's between the Kosi to the Tista. This is the small zone Kosi to Tista. This area is called the Sikkim Himalayan region. So why this famous? These areas is located the Kanchenjunga. Then there are the prominent two passes, the Jilipla and the and another is the tri junction of the India, China, and Bhutan. That areas. Another is the Assam Himalaya. It's basically the Tista to the Dihong river. The Tista to Dihong river. So Dihong, basically the Brahmaputra is another name is Dihong. So in Bengal, in West Bengal, we know that area is called the Duas. There are also the peak like the Namche Barwa. So Assam is also marked the heavy rainfall and the heavy fluvial erosion. So we can see now the due to the heavy rainfall, Assam is caused the flooded here. In the next slide, that is the last slide of my presentation, and it's basically the importance of Himalaya. Why the Himalayan region is important to perspectives of India? So first, the climatic influence. So what is actually mean? The altitude of Himalayas, they are basically the spiral and the extension incept of the summer monsoon. So they also prevent the cloud and the air mass from the entering into the India. The climatic influence of the Himalayas will be dealt in the details when we talk about the rainfalls and the climatic division of India. Another, it's the sources of the perennial rivers, even sources of the fertile soil, the forest wealth, then the lots of mineral also there. Like the Himalayan region is the source of the gold, silver, copper. Even now the news has come, the coal also found in Kashmir. Then obviously the tourism, pilgrims, the Char Dham is there, the pilgrim center like the Kashmir, Kulu Valley, Manali, Darjeeling. Also, the most prominent tourism place in India is in the belt of Himalayan region. Another is the defense. So it's protect us from the China and the northern countries to the India. So that is all of that presentations. Thank you so much.